Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Yam wanted for 3 murders in St. James. A St. James man has been named as wanted by law enforcers in the parish. He is Romario Ricardo Pusey, otherwise called Yam. Police believe Pusey is connected to at least 3 murders in the parish. He reportedly frequents the Rose Heights area. Law enforcers are asking anyone with information on the whereabouts of Pusey to contact the Montego Bay Police at 876-979-8452, the Crime Stop at 311, the National Intelligence Bureau at 811, or the nearest police station. Woman killed, man injured in Mandeville crash. A woman succumbed to injuries she sustained, and a man has been hospitalized following a motorcycle crash on Old Greenville Road in Mandeville on Wednesday night. Relatives identified the deceased as Jody K. Young, otherwise called Angel, a resident of Belfield in Manchester. Preliminary reports are that the crash happened about 7:45 p.m. Young is said to be the pilot on the motorcycle and the man as the driver. He is reportedly employed as a carrier. Scores of motorcyclists who turned up at the scene and the Mandeville Regional Hospital told reporters that the crash resulted from a hit and run. A car drove out on the bike from a street off Old Greenville Road and hit the bike. The rider lost control and crashed into a light pole, said one of the motorcyclists. The man was reportedly flung from the motorcycle. The injured people were taken to hospital, where Young was pronounced dead and the man admitted in stable condition. Riverton City fire damages Digicel cables. Telecommunications company Digicel says a fire in the Riverton City area of St. Andrew has resulted in disruption in service to several communities. Firefighters battered a blaze at the Tire Recycling Center along Spanish Town Road, which started about 1:30 a.m. by firefighters from the York Park and Trenchtown fire stations. 2 men were reportedly pulled from the building uninjured. In a notice posted to social media, Digicel said the fire damages distribution cables providing services to customers in Patrick City, Delacree Park, Olympic Gardens, and Cockburn Gardens. It said it would deploy its team of engineers to the area to restore service as soon as it is safe to do so. Meanwhile, the police have advised that a section of Spanish Town Road between 6 Miles and Waymouth Drive that was closed earlier due to the fire has been reopened. 7 arrested for extortion in Halfway Tree. 7 men were arrested on Wednesday in Halfway Tree after being suspected of extorting operators of public passenger vehicles. Head of the Police Traffic Enforcement Branch Assistant Commissioner of Police Gary McKenzie said the men will be charged soon. The police stated that they believe that extortions are gang-related. He said though affected operators have been reluctant in coming forward, they use police surveillance to apprehend the accused. ACP McKenzie said the arrested men do not appear to be loader men. He further stated that the arrest of these individuals is in keeping with a joint commitment by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Transport Authority, and Island Traffic Authority to sustainably improve safety and security, as well as safe movement of people within the transportation sector. These operations will be conducted throughout the entire island. Persons who aim to disrupt the sector and cause mayhem will be arrested repeatedly until they earn themselves long jail time, the police stated.
Amid complaints and observation of, and when I say observation, police surveillance in terms of what has been happening in the general Halfway Tree area, an operation was mounted targeting persons who we believe to be extortionists of public passenger vehicle operators. And so the police conducted an operation last evening. They were taken into custody. They are still in custody and they will be charged for the offense of extortion and maybe other offenses as well. We believe these persons are extensions and possibly participants of youngsters, and so it is one of the ways in which they operate to support other things, to include gang running, based on what we are gathering. And so we have to clamp down on it. We can't afford for this kind of thing to be happening, especially within our main township. We are not of the view that the are just loader men based on what we are seeing on the ground. We believe that the connections are going further than that in some instances. And so we don't believe that people operating under the guise of loader men should be termed to be just that. And the mode of their operation is not suggesting that. And even so, persons who are purporting to be loader men cannot force themselves on motorists or operators of public passenger vehicles and to have them pay them fees. That cannot be the case.
PPV drivers could face up to $100,000 in fines for setting own fares. A resolution to the current conflict arising from the refusal of some public transport operators to abide by the proposed levels of fare increase is threatening the sector. However, with court fines amounting to as much as $100,000 per offense, they would have to reconsider their stance. A 19% fare hike for public transport operators came into effect last Sunday as the start of phase of the 35% fare increase announced by Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport Darrell Valls in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. Another 16% increase will follow in April 2024. Many drivers, operators of public transport arena seem willing to overlook the October 16 increase. They claim that, in addition to the hassle of finding enough silver coins for change, it is better to wait for the new fiscal year, which begins on April 1, 2024, for one final fare increase, an idea which has been welcomed by commuters too. But in the meantime, the drivers operators of some vehicles are going ahead introducing their own increases, which are as high as 100%, while awaiting the next level of increases due next April. An activity which could mean fines of up to $100,000 or loss of their public transportation license. Valls said that the new fare hike was granted in an effort to cushion the impact of increased operational costs being borne by public bus and taxi operators. He said the increase, which was approved by Cabinet, was arrived at through the subcommittee of the Public Transportation Operations Steering Committee, which was mandated to formulate a collaborative proposal for revising the current fare rates. He stated that he has instructed the Transport Authority to set up a PPV certification course, noting that in a matter of a few weeks, no one will be able to go and get a PPV license at the Islands Traffic Authority without a certificate, and that certificate must come from the Transport Authority. Valls also noted that in 2021, the drivers or operators were granted a 25% fare increase, of which they got 15%, and were to get an additional 10%, which did not happen. So in essence, that 10% that they didn't get is part of the staggering increase of 19% and 16%, which adds up to 35%, which allows for the Finance and Public Service Minister to take it into consideration ahead of the 2024-2025 budget. It is my intention to ensure that the operators in the service are adequately trained in customer service, safety, and other areas of core competencies. In this way, I'm being deliberate about improving levels of service provided to Jamaicans commuting public, he stated. The Transport Minister says the Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC and Montego Bay Metro passengers will continue to pay fares at the existing rates as no increase has been granted to them. He also noted that the fare for the elderly, disabled, and children who use the JUTC and Montego Bay Metro will remain at 50% of the adult fare. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and